Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're two girls with a slight obsession of everything pop culture.
Today, we're going to be talking about The Wild Season 2.
I just realized it's been a while since we've done a review.
I don't even remember what the last review we did was.
Oh, we did X.
Oh, that was like 2 weeks ago. Never mind.
But before that, I feel like it's been so long.
It's been a minute since we did a TV show review, though.
Yeah, it might have
The
been
last one was And Just Like That.
like that. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a minute.
But we are very excited. It
Yes.
it literally just came out 4 days ago.
Well, when we're recording this, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. By the time it's out, I think it will be like a full week.
Yeah. So,
So hopefully you're caught up by then.
yeah, you should have binged it by now.
Yeah.
No excuses.
It took me so long. I had to freaking work every single day.
Yeah.
And then I would get home and I was tired. But I finished it.
Yeah,
You finished it before me.
in a day, kind of.
Yeah, I would have finished it in a day. Next time a show I like comes out, I'm booking it off work.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I have podcast purposes.
For real.
Yeah, it's my other job, you know?
It is. That doesn't
In a way,
do anything.
that doesn't pay me anything.
It's fine.
It's
fine.
totally fine. But yeah, we're just gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go like episode by episode or anything.
No, that's way too much. I think
Yeah.
we've decided we're gonna talk about the girls and the boys, but like, it's
Yeah,
not gonna stay to that.
No, it's not gonna be like our movie reviews, because for some reason our movie reviews we actually go beat by beat.
Yeah.
But TV shows you can't do that.
No. Especially with something like The Wilds, because it's not like chronological. It's like jumped all over the place.
Yeah. And also they're hour-long episodes.
Yeah, they
So
were.
this would be 8 hours of coverage.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Didn't feel like an hour though. Just
No,
sometimes
it
it
go
did.
by fast. Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess we'll just talk
Sure.
about it. Should we just get it out of the way, the main thing that everybody's had an issue with? The boys?
Well, let's start like where we're picking off up from season.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we only saw the first 10 days of the girls stay on the island, and I think when we pick back up,
Was
we're
it
on
the
like
10
day
days?
30. I think so.
You might be right. But I'm just checking.
No, you're good.
I can't believe if that was only 10 days. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's a wild 10 days.
No, we made it to
No
day
pun intended.
23.
I'm sorry?
Day 23 is where we left off.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's just confusing because it says day 23 on the last episode of season 1, but this one is day 30.
30.
Is what it's
Okay.
called. But
Okay. So we're like,
it doesn't pick up directly in this. I think we see the boys first. And then it goes back to the girls, I think.
no,
I'm already forgetting how it started, and we literally just watched this.
No, I think it picks up with them, with Nora and Rachel back in the water.
Maybe it does, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So the girls are still already on the island. They're still on the island.
Yeah.
But the boys are getting ready to go to the island.
Yeah.
Or on their retreat.
Yeah, their retreat.
Retreat.
But it picks up in the season 1 finale. It ended with Rachel going out for like a swim, and then Nora sees someone sees a shark.
Yeah.
Someone there sees a shark. While Rachel's out there, and we see Nora go to swim to her, and Rachel goes under, and then it ends. So
Yeah.
now we pick up here. I mean, we already know she loses her hand because
Mhm.
there's like that brief glimpse of it in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But here we actually see it, and it is scary, and it looks painful.
It doesn't. You just can't do gore.
No, it does look painful. You
I'm
don't think
sure it's
losing your hand
painful.
will be painful?
Yeah, I'm sure it's painful.
Not Soul Surfer level, but it looked painful.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm more thinking like when they have to cauterize it.
Yeah, no, that
No,
was
thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nora goes out to like try and save her, and then just gets swept away in the waves.
Yep.
And then we don't know where she goes. Also, why didn't the shark just like fully eat Rachel?
You know what?
Like, how did it just get her? Actually, it looked like a tiny shark, but still.
To be fair, was it actually a shark?
Maybe not.
We'll touch on that.
But yeah. So then it goes, they bring the girl, like, the girls bring Rachel back, and they cauterize it, which is nasty.
Yeah.
But that's where we kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Nora's missing at that now, assumed dead, because you're not gonna not be assumed dead when you get freaking swept away in an ocean. A lot of the season is honestly Rachel dealing with the grief of Nora, which makes sense.
Definitely.
It's definitely interesting though, because Leah could not stand Nora at the end.
Yeah.
So then kind of seeing her try to comfort Rachel was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all just going a little crazy at this point on the island after 23 days.
Yeah, that's kind of like really evident later on with Leah, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Rachel. I mean, granted she's grieving, but I feel like she goes on like full on like happy-go-lucky. I'm like, you just lost your sister, and I guess this is your way of grieving. But
yeah, I mean, Shelby also.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't go like nutty is Tony and Fatten.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but
yeah.
Yeah, so then that's just where we pick off.
Yeah.
And then the boys, I think, are getting to the island.
Yeah, they're on their way there.
Yeah, because we see the tray of cake come out.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, this isn't gonna go well.
Yeah.
And then we see the boys had so much more luggage than the girls, like, wash up with them. Like, the girls only had Fatten's suitcase after, like, a while.
Really?
It was, like, a few days in, I think, before they got Fatten's suitcase.
I really don't remember season 1.
I know,
really
that's the problem. But then, of course, of the suitcases they get of the boys, they get Josh's. And Josh has, like, 1,000,001 medical issues. Yeah. So he has, like, aspirin. He has antibiotics. He has Sour Patch Kids.
That's half eaten.
Yeah, he has everything in this bag. So they're fine.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. Thank you, Josh's mom, for making sure.
Yeah, we love Josh's mom. Yeah, I guess we'll just... Do you want to just...
We can kick off with the boys.
Okay, because I don't... Like we said, we don't want to go, like, beat by beat on this.
Yeah.
But we didn't mind the boys.
Yeah, I mean, I figured from the start that, like... Not to be a total nerd, but I did, like, research in college. Like, if you're going to study the girls, you're going to study the boys, too.
Yeah.
And right before the season even started, I had a feeling that the whole point of bringing the boys in was to show the girls are superior and are able to last longer on an island in a fight or flight kind of mode.
Yeah. And that's literally confirmed. That is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Also, everybody's so mad that the boys are being focused on. We knew that's going to happen for a year and a half now.
But I don't even feel like they really focused on the boys that much.
No, that's another thing. People said, like, it was like the guys got, like, 80% of the screen time over the girls. I think it was pretty evenly distributed, honestly. Yeah. Like, maybe the boys had a touch more.
Maybe
like, I would say like maybe like 60-40, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's just because maybe we got the boys like back season, but we got that for the girls too. Like, how are you going to show the girls like?
Yeah, also like the boys are brand new. We're already established with these girls, so they have to spend a little bit more time trying to establish these boys, let you know who they are, like, figure them out.
But
and we already learned everything about the girls pretty much. So, like, what is there really to focus on entirely with their backstories? Like, there's not.
And they even, I felt like, cut down the backstories with the boys because they combined Sammy
Scotty and
Rose.
Yeah, Scotty
and then what?
Scotty.
It's Sammy, Scotty and Rose. And Seth and Henry. Henry didn't really get anything.
And I was more interested in him than I was in Seth, but there's obviously a reason we got Seth's backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't get Josh's.
Yes, which I found very interesting because I felt like he would have been the most important to have a backstory for.
Yeah.
Especially because it seemed like we barely got Josh off the island.
We actually didn't get one for Kieran really either. He was kind of involved in Ivan's.
Yeah.
But, like, really not much. So I'm wondering if they'll go into depth with them in the next season?
Maybe. But I found Josh to be the most interesting just because he's like the nerdy little cute kid. And then from the brief second that we saw in his interrogation, he's like a Kieran. Like, I think he's like some big shot, and it's like a total 180.
Speaking of Kieran, he was my favorite. I have a fat crush on him. No shame.
Kieran was very cute. I thought he was going to be the Chad of the group. But when everything kind of went down, I was like, I'm glad you're not the Chad of the group.
No, I think he, like, was supposed to kind of be that BMOC, like, stereotypical jock, but, like, he actually had a really big heart, and it made me love him more.
Yeah, and we kind of got to see that a little bit in his backstory, too.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see more of it, because, like, clearly there's something interesting there, and also, like, if you watch on Prime Video, it has, like, little spots of trivia that come up throughout the episode, and, like, there was some, like, about Kieran saying, like, he doesn't like to talk about his mom, but he also really, really doesn't like to talk about his dad. So I'm like, okay, so what happened there? And also, apparently his mom is, like, a hippie. So, like, I'm like, I want to know these things, and...
It was interesting, too, because I felt like... Not that each of the boys were supposed to be, like, a girl, but
they definitely were.
Really, in some points I couldn't figure out who was who.
I think I did figure it out. Not all of them, but I think Bo's kind of meant to be the Martha. Like, more, like, late, like, more reserved, quiet, to Scotty's more outgoing, like...
Tony, okay.
Loud Tony. And then... Oh, who else was it that I noticed? There was one more I noticed, like, big time. And I can't figure out who it is.
Kieran and Shelby vibes. Just the rich, white, middle class kind
of. Oh, and then having a really crappy home life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one makes sense.
And then, I guess Raphael and Leah, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. They're both
I guess
annoying.
just being so fixated on a relationship back home, and that's why that led them there.
That's true, actually. I think Josh is also kind of a Nora. Like, very, like, nerdy, brainy.
Mm-hmm.
She knew a lot. Josh knows a lot. So, I do think the parallels were there.
But not, like...
Maybe not, like, super strongly, but I did notice it quite a few times. And it was just like, I wish they hadn't done that. Yeah,
I think it would have been more interesting, but, I mean, we could touch on this more when we get to what season 3 might hold. But with them coming together, maybe they'd want to see if their matches pair up or whatever.
Maybe. Oh, that would actually be interesting.
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't like about the boys, though, is they're all very stereotypical.
Yes.
Whereas the girls are just, like, there. Like, they're just themselves. They're just people. The boys have, like, all very, like, distinct personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stereotypical personalities or, like, tropes about them.
Yeah.
Like, Ivan is your stereotypical, like, gay
activist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to word that, but like he's very like outwardly like protesting and all that, which is not a bad thing, but like it was a little over the top in this.
Yeah.
What you see in his backstory. And then Kieran is like meant to be the jock.
Yeah.
Josh is very nerdy. Scotty is like, actually he doesn't have much. He's just like very much like an entrepreneur. He's just very into making money.
Yeah.
And then Bo is very like OCD. I love Bo. He's so cute.
I loved Bo. I just feel bad for Bo.
I know. He's so cute. He's very like he's like the sheltered OCD kind of emotionally damaged guy. And then Seth, you know, he sucks.
We're not even gonna chat about Seth. But I didn't hate Henry, but I wish he
I forgot about Henry. Henry's the emo boy.
Yeah, like very stereotypical.
Very stereotypical emo boy.
E-boy?
I think there's a difference between the two.
Goth boy? I don't know the difference, but
sad boy. He's a sad boy.
Yeah.
I
feel like I understand his problems once again. Learning about Seth's backstory.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched, Seth and Henry are step siblings.
Yes. I liked Henry. I wanted more of Henry, not Seth.
Henry kind of got on my nerve. I was on a roller coaster with Henry the whole season.
I think I just wanted more of Henry because, like, living with Seth, I want that perspective. Mm-hmm. And also just, like, he was very quiet, but yet he was so smart about, like, everything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted that bit of knowledge about him.
Yeah, Seth was like a little bit of a mystery the entire season. And even after finding out his backstory and Henry kind of like calling him out on his bullshit, like he was still such a mystery because you couldn't tell like why he was doing.
Yeah, his backstory didn't even like
fully make sense.
Clear anything up, so I don't really.
No. He's just like one big compulsive liar.
Yeah, literally.
It's funny too because in the beginning I thought he was gay and him and Raphael were gonna hook up.
That would have been so much of a better storyline for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they went the route of his backstory because it did not shed any light on.
No.
It kind of did, I guess, like his obsessive behavior, but that doesn't even really correlate with what he does.
No. He was just.
I still don't get why he did what he did.
Yeah. No. Not at all.
If you haven't seen it, maybe look up the trigger warnings for season 2.
Yeah.
There is an SA scene
at that of episode 4.
Yeah, and it takes place with Seth. But like I don't get how it got to that point. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it happened.
It was.
They could have had this whole, like, if they wanted to ostracize Seth, they could have done something else. They could have just had him, like, beat the shit out of somebody on the island. Yes, it would have still been bad, but it wouldn't have been this bad.
It was very unnecessary, that scene.
Very.
Except you're not going to fully explain as to why it happened. And, like, I guess I was hoping when we got to his backstory, it would explain it a little bit, but it really didn't.
It didn't.
Like, all Henry said, not Henry, I'm sorry, Josh was like, we're the same person or whatever, and
yeah, and they
not, and I was like, what did you do to prove that we're not?
I also thought that maybe, like, when Henry was like, you did something to Julia, you hurt Julia, you did something to Julia, I'm like, okay, so has he done this before and he did it to Julia? That's where I thought we were leading with that, but I don't think that's what happened. We did see him like grab her.
Yeah.
But like, why couldn't he just done that to Josh instead of doing what he did?
Yeah. So is Julia dead, or do we not know that?
I don't know. He kidnapped her cat.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna say he hurt the cat, and I was about to give up.
Yeah.
They just really dropped the ball with that character.
I feel like they dropped the ball with a lot of the boys because I was
a lot of the boys.
I feel like they left a lot of their stories very open-ended and no clarification of where it was going. Like,
Yeah, like maybe because I guess they did that in season 1 too with the girls. Like they left some of it open-ended, but not to this extent, especially when we are pretty positive we're not going to be following them.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to be following their backstories like we are here because they're being interrogated. So part of the flashbacks is going back to the interrogation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, I get the complaints about the boys because they did drop the ball a little bit on some of them, but they weren't that bad.
No.
I do think some of the storylines were, like, okay. I wanted more clarification behind Beau's, though. Like, why his parents are the way that they are, like, why his dad hit him and all that, like.
I think he was just like a military dad. That's what vibe I got. Just very like precision, precise, and it might be like his dad might have PTSD, and like this is his way of like kind of
that would make sense.
Because he was very like Beau was so nervous. Just it had to do with his dad, which I felt so bad.
That kind of did remind me a bit of Shelby, like how we got like that like whole thing of her dad. Like we got that her dad was very like, I don't know the word I'm thinking of.
He was just more traditional.
Very traditional.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. And I feel like we got that about him, but we didn't. I think we could have seen that in Beau's dad too. And we didn't. I think that would have shed a little bit more clarity on this whole situation. But, yeah. Also, at one point, this is very just like a random thought I had. At one point, Scotty asks Beau if he's okay, and then slips him like a granola bar or something like that. So I thought Beau was diabetic. And I think like that would have been such a good addition though. If he was diabetic, having to deal with that on the island would have been pretty wild in my opinion. So I was kind of hoping they were going that route, but they didn't. I still don't get what that scene was about though. Maybe they were just looking out for each other and being like, yo, you hungry?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of things on the island that just felt, with the boys, very, like, abrupt and, like, quick. Like, the Jaguar, like, I know you like the Jaguar, but it was just, like, a one episode kind of thing.
Yeah, the boys didn't do anything. They stayed on that beach the entire time.
Yeah. And
the girls sort of did too, but at least they ventured around. The boys didn't even try.
Which I think goes back to the point where the girls
are better. Yeah.
And also,
I mean, they also had Dot.
Fair enough.
If you have Dot, you're good.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys missed this in the first episode of season 2. The whole experiment was supposed to last for 50 days. So, surprise, the girls get rescued on day 50. The boys, they leave at day 34.
And they leave because Seth kind of cheated.
Yeah, which, once again, is so open-ended. Like, why?
I don't know.
There's a lot.
Because, like Nora and Janine were I forgot about Janine also. Mm-hmm. But Nora and Janine were the confidants for the first season for the girls. And the boys, it's DJ, who is Gretchen's son, who literally is in the first episode for like maybe 10 minutes and then he dies, but he's not. He just gets rescued. Yeah, he's rescued. He wants out. And then it's revealed later on in the season that Seth is the other one.
Which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. But then at one point, he's, again, ostracized from camp. Yeah. Like, banished. So he texts saying SOS, and they're like, stay there. So I forget his name. Is it Alex?
It's something like that.
Yeah, he comes to, like, get him, and he, like, brings a boat. And Seth is like, does she know? And Alex is like, yeah, and she's very disappointed. So then Seth whacks him with a paddle, knocks him out, and steals the boat.
Well, I think the disappointed part comes from Seth's backstory, that, like, he is disappointment. Because we don't really know what happened with his biological mom and parents. Yeah. We only see him with his stepmom, and No,
we do see him with his mom.
We do?
Yes, his mom left him.
Oh, right. When he was a
Yeah.
little boy. Yep. Okay.
I forgot about that.
Correct. But I think obviously why he thinks his mom left is because he was a disappointment to her.
Yeah.
And from Henry's perspective, it seems like Seth is the favorite child now, and like his mom could care less, and that's like Henry's biological mom.
Yeah.
She cares more about her stepson than her own son.
Which is why I wanted more of Henry, because I'm like,
oh wait, now I'm also thinking about it. Was the beginning of episode 7 or episode 8 when Gretchen is talking about Seth about being like a disappointment?
I missed that.
Okay, it's like it's the opening of one of the episodes, and she's
okay.
like.
Okay, I also started the finale like last night right before bed, and then I was so tired, so I don't remember.
Fair. Okay, no, there is it's either the beginning of episode 7, episode 8, where she's talking about like being.
Which makes me wonder why they picked Seth
to be a leader.
Because he's clearly not mentally all right.
Maybe it has another.
He needs therapy, not to be on a deserted island.
No, like this is not punishment.
No. Punishment for everybody else.
Yeah. Maybe it was an experiment to see if things can get turned around for him. I don't know, man.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, the only big part that we know about of the experiment is like just boys versus girls, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not really about like why they chose who to be the leaders. Like, why did they choose Nora and Janine? Because Nora's smart, but Nora's like so soft spoken. And then Janine died. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
I wish she hadn't. I wish she would have lasted a little bit longer because I wanted to kind of get to know her more.
But it was very interesting that she wasn't supposed to die and they did die. Wait, I'm just remembering now. Seth cut all the wires for the microphones after the essay, right?
Yeah.
So
Josh went off with Kieran, and he I think he knew. Water. Yeah, and I think he knew that he was gonna tell him.
Yeah.
So we cut all of it so Gretchen and them couldn't hear.
Yeah, and I guess
I'm like, babe, you probably would have been saved had they heard. Yeah. Because they wouldn't have wanted to. Well, actually, Gretchen's a little morally ambiguous, but the other people wouldn't have wanted him to stay.
No.
I think at least him would have maybe got lifted out. They would have like faked his death and then taken him out, but like then they wouldn't have a confidant, so.
But it's also just. I was read like an interview before saying, do we think Gretchen knows what he did?
Yeah.
Because do we just jump right to the end, or do we want to talk about the girls first?
Let's talk about the end now, and then we can talk about the girls.
Okay, so
there's lots to talk about the girls too, but the boys.
Yeah.
Like...
So I kind of have to touch on Leah. We'll figure that out later. So basically, the whole thing, the FBI finds out about Gretchen's whole thing, and she leaves the island, and the Dean, is it just Dean?
Dean, I think she sends back home.
Yes.
But Dan comes.
Yeah, she tells Dean to leave because I think Gretchen realizes what Dean has also kind of done. But maybe she
Dean has a conscience.
Yeah.
Dean is like the only one there who has a conscience.
Thank God for him. But maybe she tells Alex then. It's whoever's on the plane with her. Like, why did you just leave them? And she's like, I have eyes on the inside, and Seth is still there.
I think it is Alex she's talking to.
Okay.
If his name is even Alex. We're just going to call him Alex.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
I don't know the other people's names.
I didn't know the boys' names until, like, the last episode, and I'm like, I remember you now.
Basically. So, like, does she know what he did? Does she care what he did?
I don't think she does, because remember they were trying to get it out of Raph.
Yeah.
And then Leah, like, panicked last minute and is like, no, they're listening, like, we'll figure out another way. So I don't think they ever heard it.
But I find that interesting that, like,
And I
Leah
don't think...
hide that.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so
But
interesting.
maybe it's
I
because
just
she
don't get it.
didn't want them to, like, have all the information. She didn't want them to have, like, this
Yeah.
top secret information. She wanted to keep something for themselves so that she could maybe use it as, like,
Have power
stakes.
over them. Yeah.
Like, kind of be like, give me this and I'll give you this. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Like you said, it is really interesting, this whole show.
Mm-hmm. Are we done with the boys? Do you want to touch on the girls?
Yeah, we'll probably come back to all of them.
Yeah, to
We'll
explain
just
the ending a little bit more.
But yeah, the girls, like you said, Nora's missing. Well, she dead. Rachel now has the shark bite, so they cauterize it, and then it basically just goes into the rest of the time. Where do we start with the girls is the question.
To be honest, I feel like there's not really much to talk about with the girls. So the girls.
No, it's basically just like kind of continuation of the first season.
The girls.
Please don't hate us for that. Saying there's not much of the girls. There isn't. The boys we are seeing the boys adjust.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, they did have to they honestly had a bit more of an interesting venture here.
Yeah.
The girls were already acclimated to the place.
Just the girls decide to start moving inland out of the beach.
Yeah, they relocate.
But I think one of them stays out every night on the beach just in case a boat comes, I think.
Yeah, because Shelby's out there one night watching.
Yeah.
And she sees a boat.
It doesn't say anything.
No, and then she has a moment of panic, and she's like, I don't want to go back to the life I had before. So she panics for a slight moment, and then when she finally gets her conscience back, the boat's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Yeah, so they relocate everyone inland. Kinda, it's not even towards the river. They just move inland.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe there was they found that spot in season 1 and we just don't remember it. I don't know.
No, I think they did. There's a reason why they chose that spot, I think. I just don't remember why.
But there's a lot of space there, so maybe just
True. So I think, what's everyone up to? Tony and Shelby are hella in love. They're making out and fucking every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah. They're doing it everywhere.
Martha is the hunter. Martha's killing everything she can find. Fatin, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she's really doing much.
She's just living. She's vibing.
Yeah, no, she's
and then Leah's
going through some episodes.
Leah's being Leah.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on.
So annoying to me.
And
then Rachel's mourning.
Rachel is.
I think Rachel stays on the beach.
Yeah,
Rachel stays on the beach for a while because even Dot is like, hey, I'm gonna go watch her now.
Yeah, and they don't want to move Nora's stuff inland, or Rachel doesn't want Nora's stuff to be moved inland in case she does come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it for the good 4 episodes.
Yeah.
They find.
But then they find hot springs. But there is a scene where it was kind of interesting. It was kind of scary where Tony gets up to move just to go sit somewhere else, and then a tree branch falls.
Yeah.
Right where she was sitting. So then that kind of spooks Shelby, and that kind of leads into a love confession between the two.
Yeah.
Which then sends Tony into a spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't love them as much this season.
They're too lovey-dovey for me. I don't like lovey-dovey.
Yeah, and I'll just, I don't know. There's just something not quite there for them with me anymore. And I think it's just because, they were so lovey-dovey, and then all of a sudden they hated each other. And, Tony, yelled at her for Martha, and I don't get why she was blaming Martha on Shelby. Because
I think
Martha goes into a catatonic state, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I think it's because Tony starts spending more time with Shelby than Martha, and
yeah,
bros before hoes kind of thing. And Tony starts telling Shelby all this stuff through. No. Martha's telling Tony stuff and Tony's telling Shelby, and I think that kind of upsets Martha.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she asked.
Because Martha didn't know.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So she finds out. I forget how
Like,
she finds out.
Through Fatten, I think. Fatten's like, you didn't know?
But I think she asked her something first. Does Martha walk in on them? Does Martha sees them in the woods.
Together, yes.
Yeah. So that's how she finds out. And then Fatten's like, you didn't know. I've known.
Yeah.
By the way, Fatten is so funny this season.
She is. I like her.
Yeah. I think her and Dot are my favorites.
Yeah.
I love Dot. I have a special place for Dot.
I feel bad for her. I love her, though.
I know.
What else happens with the girls? Leah starts seeing her ex-lover, who's like 40.
Is it him? Does she see him, or is it just that singer guy that she loves too?
Oh, they're not the same person.
No. So this guy is like her first crush, and what is kind of like foreshadowing of the fact that she was going to fall in love with an older man later on. So then she starts seeing visions of him. I think it's Bob something. It's Bob something. I can't remember. Is it like Bob Kemp? I don't know.
Oh.
He's a real life guy though, played by the real guy. That was kind of cool to me.
Oh, is that actually?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then she starts seeing him. Honestly, I tuned out a lot during this. I found
it was
it was a lot. Because at one point, Fatten is just like, you can't keep like obsessing over this. Like, it's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
And nobody believes Leah that something weird is going on. And then there's like a suicide attempt with Leah.
Yeah, that was a warning in the first episode. What, she takes multiple pills, but like nothing really happened.
No, and I thought like it was gonna be like a multi-episode thing. Honestly, when they said this, I thought it was gonna be Rachel.
Yeah, no, same.
Because like after losing her hand and then losing Nora, like I'm like, okay, this is gonna be Rachel, and that's why I thought they were kind of being on watch. But no, it's Leah because she takes a bunch of pills. Which is interesting, but like, yeah, I wish they would have done more with it. Because then, like you said, with with Rachel going to be happy-go-lucky, all of a sudden Leah was too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sending Rachel and Leah off together was probably not the smartest move. They're both not in a great headspace at that point. But yeah, that's kind of like those things. But then Martha, I think, is like the big storyline for the girls this season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it really starts to pick up when Martha loses it.
Yeah, so Martha, like in the first season, we know that she's like this big animal lover.
Mm-hmm.
So then when she starts becoming a hunter, it's very shocking.
Yeah.
And it was actually like kind of sad. I'm like, oh damn, really I get it. Like, girl, I get it.
Wait, can we talk about what led up to the scene? It was such a cute scene of them like all singing and like having a great time. And then
there was a lot of cute scenes with the girl. We should definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, to carry on with Martha, she had been setting traps, and because they need to eat, obviously, mm-hmm. So she set traps and she catches a rabbit, but the rabbit like needed to get out, so it chewed its way out, and in the process like injured itself and killed itself, and she finds that it has babies, and so then she's immediately filled with guilt, and she runs back and is like, just go get the babies, take care of the babies, like save the babies, and then she runs off and kills the babies out of guilt, and then that just sends her into like a catatonic state.
Yeah.
When they first did this scene, though, I didn't notice that it was, like, the babies. I thought she had, like, killed herself or, like, was about to or, like, had harmed herself in some way. Because she's, like, covered in blood. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, because it's like heavily implied in the first season you're made to think that she's dead. So I'm like, oh my gosh, is she actually going to kill herself? Like, is she going to harm herself in some way? She doesn't. She kills the baby bunnies, but then, it's really sad. It's not nice. I don't enjoy this.
No.
But yeah, then she goes into a catatonic state. Tony hurts me here.
Yeah.
Tony's like whole thing this episode is just like a lot. Like the way she like immediately like reacts to Martha, like it's very sad.
No, it is. I mean, like that's her family.
It's her only family.
Yeah. And I get why she feels guilty and like is blaming it on Shelby because like I said, like she's really spending most of her time with Shelby and not with Martha.
Yeah, but this was bound to happen whether she started spending time with Shelby or not.
Yeah.
Like there's no way someone like Martha, who was like such a devoted animal lover, was going to be able to kill all these animals without repercussions.
Yeah.
From like her psyche. Yeah. It was like a breakdown like waiting to happen. Like even like reading comments like on TV time as I would like vlog an episode, people were like, I knew this was going to happen. Like this was bound to happen. I just don't think I expected it to be in like such a
dramatic fashion.
Yeah. Because like she goes catatonic.
Yeah.
At one point I think they say she's been out for 4 days and she's already getting bed sores.
Yeah.
So like she hasn't moved. You'd also think that like you would kind of like maybe move her a little bit. Yeah. So if she doesn't get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the big. Oh my god, no, there is another big thing. Fatten's been keeping Nora's diary and like marking stuff down, writing stuff. We'll also come back to the diary because it led to a cute scene with the girls. But like she's been marking down stuff, and at one point she like is about to go. She has to bury. They decide to bury Nora's stuff at one point to have like a funeral for her. So Fatten is washing the sweater of Nora's and sees like a bunch of like numbers and like something in the tag and like is like, okay, that's kind of weird. But then as she's writing, like she's flipping through Nora's journal diary and like notices like one thing says like Dr. HQ and like there's a phone number and it's all like written in doodles, so like it's very subtle. And then she's like, okay, that's weird. And then at one point she like notices a page is teared out. So then, this is really smart in my opinion, she takes like the pencil and like shades it in and it says Leah is suspicious. Like you can see the dent of it. So then she knows that Nora was in on something and she tells Shelby, and then the two are walking through the woods at one point and they see the camera, or like I think it's a recording device actually. They see it in the tree though.
I missed that.
They see it and then Shelby goes to climb the tree to get it, falls out. And that's how she gets the injury that she had in season 1, which I forgot about.
So
they know something's going on.
Well,
but
realizes something's going on too when Dot relieves that Gretchen visited her, and she's like, yeah. Did anyone else?
Yeah, no one else got a visit from her. I wonder if that was she was trying to get Dot maybe to be the insider.
Oh,
I'm wondering if maybe that was like her first
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dot would have been like the most emotionally vulnerable, I think, at that moment.
Yeah.
So maybe she would have been a good pick, but yeah. So Fatten and Shelby know, and Shelby wants to tell everybody, but Fatten's like, no, like we can't say anything yet. And also Fatten's like, I can't tell Leah because I've been calling her crazy this entire time. Yeah. So, but then they don't even tell anybody yet because they get rescued before they can. Yeah.
Also, Shelby, like, cuts her entire... We finally get to see Shelby have her, like, little mini breakdown and cut her hair off. Which I think is interesting.
Very.
But yeah, they get rescued, which Sam didn't think they were ever getting rescued.
No, I knew they were getting rescued. I just didn't think we were going to get to see it in season 2 for some reason.
But like I said before, it's mentioned in the beginning of
I missed it. I'm sorry.
That the whole thing was supposed to last 50 days. I wonder, but yeah, I wish we get to see them actually get rescued because, like, that helicopter knew where to go.
Yeah. Also, wait, I want to check this. For some reason, I have a very different vision in my head of the first season when we see them get rescued or like something in the first season, we see like a flash forward or something like that.
We do?
I think so. But then I feel like the location's different here. Because I know at one point we saw Shelby in season 1 with the no hair. Or like really choppy cut hair.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was in an interrogation.
We do see her bald in the interrogation, but I know I'm pretty positive there's a scene. Okay, no, it's, I was completely wrong. She gets the brush stuck in her hair and then chops off that bit of her hair. Yeah, so then she starts chopping away at her hair. But it's all there in season 2. She's seen wearing her hair in a bun until day 16 when she cuts half off her hair off due to getting a brush stuck in it. The Wild, I'm calling you out.
Oops. Yeah, I really don't remember that.
It's fine. Also, like, I wish they would have actually shown them getting rescued, because I feel like that would have been, like, a really, like, emotional scene.
Yeah.
Like, played, like, some really, like, uplifting, hopeful music over it. For some reason, I'm envisioning Jurassic Park. Like, when they go off in the airplane at the end of the movie, fly over the island.
Yeah.
Then again, we know they don't actually technically get rescued.
Yeah.
So.
Do we go into that?
Let's just talk about the girls' cute moments first, because there was some of them.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. I think is the first one where they're singing? Because the other one is Dot's birthday, but I think the first one is them singing around the campfire.
No, I think the first one's Dot's birthday.
Okay. Well, that's another thing that Fatten realizes. It doesn't really matter. They're just cute scenes.
Oh, but, no. It was cute, the retirement.
Right. Yeah. So they, at one point, like, this random case or, like, box shows up on the island in the water that Leah and Rachel find.
Yeah.
And it's filled with party supplies.
For Barb's retirement party.
Yeah, for Barbara who's retiring. And there's also a champagne bottle in there. So they decide Damn! So they decide to have a party naturally. This also gives them blankets, which is nice.
Yeah.
Blankets, they're tablecloths, but like it's something.
But they're just, Shelby's happy to eat with like plates and utensils again.
Oh, Shelby is stoked to eat with a fork.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's
a really like just sweet scene, just seeing them get so excited about something so simple, little
stuff that we take for granted.
Wow, that got deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sweet though. But then they decide to throw a little like celebration, I guess, for finding it. They get a little drunk on champagne, and then they all sing together, and it's really cute.
It is.
It's really sweet. They sing like what the song's called Home, like the Home, Let Me Go Home, that one. Which is very fitting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little sad though, because like.
Oh, it's so sad. It's like a melancholy kind of happy.
Like they're trying to become content, like that's their home now, and I'm like, no.
It does really suck to see them get kind of like used to it. Like even when I was reading about like before we like got in here, we wanted to read like more about the ending. But like the one I was reading, they're like you see them kind of just become like content with where they are now, and like then all of a sudden the plane touches down, which just makes it like even more triumphant and like amazing.
Yeah.
Because they were just kind of like starting to accept that this is where they were going to have to be.
Mm-hmm. Which is so sad.
Very. But then the other one is Fatten is like going through the book, Nora's diary, keeping a tally of all the days they've been there. And I don't know how it like comes up. Oh, so Dot's like, what day is it then? And she's like, July 18th. And she's like, oh, it's my birthday. So then Fatten obviously is like, we got to throw this bitch a birthday party.
Yeah.
And they do, with like Barb's retirement. What?
That's probably my favorite scene when Fatten goes to tell all of them. They're like, it's Dot's birthday, we party.
Yeah, she's like, guess what, bitches? It's Dorothy's motherfucking birthday.
Yeah.
And yeah, then they throw a little party for her. It's a lot of fun to see them like actually have lighthearted moments this season.
Yeah.
Because we got, like, none of that in season 1. Season 1's kind of dark, honestly.
No, it is.
The only, like, really light moments come from Shelby and Tony.
Yes.
So
sad.
But then it also gets dark here because then Rachel gets upset because she'll never have to share a birthday or celebrate a birthday. Are her and Nora twins? I can't remember, but the way she was talking made it sound like they were twins.
They were twins. I think they are, but they're fraternal.
Yeah. So that was, like, kind of sad, but
yeah,
makes sense. But I was really enjoying the, you know, happy-go-lucky scene before Rachel got all gloomy on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad it was Dog's birthday we got to celebrate because, like, if anyone needs happiness, it's this girl. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we also saw her have a little moment of breakdown, which...
Oh, yeah. That's one thing people
sad.
said. They're like, she's been the strongest one, and, like, just seeing her finally break.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah. The show is not fun.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, it for the girls and the boys. So let's talk about that ending.
Yeah. So, what's happening in the interrogation once they are all rescued? Leah's trying to get, like, collateral, and she winds up sneaking into Roth's room and talking to him. But she's like, there's no way that I would have been able to stay in here this long without them coming to get me. So clearly there's something that they want me to get out of him that they're not getting out of him.
Yeah.
Which is the essay. And she still holds that. Like, she doesn't give that to them. When Roth's about to say it, she's like, they're listening. She, like, goes in for a hug, so, like, they can't.
It's so, like... There's so many reasons why she could have withheld that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm almost wondering if maybe she's thinking that if they do get that information, they're going to use it to their advantage and not, like, actually help him.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes sense. They probably would.
Yeah.
But, like, also that's probably something that they should know about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now that Seth is in power...
Yeah, so the whole ending sequence is... So Dean
They walk in on a prom kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was going to be, like, they're going to celebrate or something before they were caught. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Because, like, Gretchen was getting, like, all dolled up. Like, we see a whole getting ready montage of her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what that was about.
Yeah. But then, like, Leah's like, where the fuck is she? And she's like, oh, we have to go find her. And then everybody's like, should we be following her? And Patton's like, no, if anyone we're going to follow her. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
So then they, like, storm this place.
Yeah. So they also all get out because the power gets cut out by the FBI.
Yeah.
Backtrack a little bit too. The reason why the FBI like stops this entire thing is because
I forgot we did mention that.
Yeah. So Dean is helping Leah.
Yeah.
Because I think Dean has realized this is morally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
we love Dean.
Dean, I didn't catch this before, but I caught it like an hour ago. Dean says something about the knife hiding in her toilet. And Leah goes to check, and there's a phone in like the back part of the toilet, and he's like, you have 45 seconds to make one phone call.
That's my other thing. Why does it say at 12:01? Like, is the camera just going to be off or something at 12:01?
Maybe.
Like, why is it so specific?
Maybe
we just missed that. I don't know.
Maybe we missed it. But anyway, Leah makes a phone call to her friend Ian, which apparently we've seen in season 1. I do not remember, but okay.
Yeah, I think it was like brief.
Okay. So what does she tell him to look up the Dawn of Eve? Because that's the project.
I think so, yeah.
Or what the treat's called is the Dawn of Eve.
Yeah, so he looks it up and gets an address to Gretchen's place and walks into DJ.
Yeah.
Who's Gretchen's son? I don't remember if you mentioned that.
And he's like, go away. And Ian's like, I'm just trying to find the Dawn of Eve. Like, or he says something that like perks up DJ's ears, and he's like, come in.
Yeah. And then in a later scene, we see Ian go to the police. And he's like, I think
it's the police. I think it's like Department of Homeland.
Yeah, he's like, I was told, I called the tip line and they told me to come directly here.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? Now I'm wondering, do you think Gretchen worked with the FBI? She had to. Because why would Dean and Dan be in on this?
Maybe.
And, why would FBI be, so... granted, they should be, but,
Yeah, I want to know how she pitched this to them.
It might have been a government-funded plan.
I wonder if it was meant to be, a rehabilitation thing. And she actually used it as being like, oh, it's a retreat. And then when they were in on it, she's like, okay, I've given you this much money. Here's what we're actually doing.
Yeah, no. Well, it was touched upon the first season of her pitching the plan. And I don't think people were on board with it because they realized it was morally wrong.
Yeah.
And she didn't care. She wanted to follow along because she thought she was doing this amazing thing, which we still don't really know what her whole entire big plan is. Phase 1 was the what girls, phase 2 was the boys, and...
Or was phase 1 both, parties being on the island, seeing who makes it, and then phase 2, I think, was getting the information?
Not what I read, but you could be right as well.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
But phase 3 is now going to be the boys and the girls working together, because...
But we don't know what the original plan was, which is... Yeah.
We really don't know much.
We have no idea what they were originally planning. Also, we should probably say, at one point, Gretchen is before all the FBI stuff, really, we find out, Gretchen wants to see Leah one-on-one because she's like, you're the smartest one, you're the one I'm most proud of, you've done so well. And then she gets a phone call, and Leah's like, you should get that. And she's like, no, I'll wait. And Leah's like, no, really, you should get that.
Yeah.
And then she walks out, and Gretchen answers the phone, and it's the FBI. And so then Gretchen goes on the run, and that's where we end up here. But yeah, the boys and girls are gonna be coexisting now. Which will be really, really interesting, because they're going to butt heads so much. I just know it. I feel like Leah and Kieran are going to probably try and lead the group. They have a lot of, that leadership quality about them.
Really? It's going to be Leah and Ruff.
Actually, I could see Dot and Kieran kind of teaming up, too. Because, Kieran kind of took charge on the island like Dot did.
Why can't I see Dot and Kieran being a couple?
Why do I kind of ship it?
Yeah, same.
I don't know what they could possibly do. I'm admittedly not as excited. I'm excited for season 3, but I don't know what they're going to do. And I was never a big fan of this stuff in the building or off the island. So I don't know. I think once it gets closer, I'm obviously still excited, but it's just it's going to be very different. And the island stuff is just so interesting.
It is. But they're still on an island. We just don't know what island.
Yeah. I wonder if it is the same island, just really far away. But also, if they did that, what's to say they wouldn't walk through the woods to come.
Yeah.
And accidentally come across it. So I have a feeling it's obviously somewhere different. I feel like that was mentioned in season 1 where it is. And it's really, really far away. Because I think Leah's talking with one of the FBI agents, and it's where the hell are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
We really should have rewatched season 1 before season 2.
Yeah, I just didn't have
I
time.
didn't think about that. It's fine. I watched a recap video that was like 4 minutes long, so I clearly know everything again.
Yeah, that's better than what I did. I did nothing.
Well, I was expecting them to do a recap, like most shows do.
Yeah.
Being
No,
like
they do.
previously on the Wilds, and they didn't. But the Prime Video did post it on YouTube. But I'm like, buddies, maybe you should put that.
Right before your episode. Just
Yeah.
Just
I think that's really all we plan to touch on. Like that's like all the big stuff, I think.
Yeah, I said this while we were searching up for something. With the boys, they found a bunker with food in it.
Right.
And I'm also kind of curious now, since Seth and Roth were the one that found it, was that planted there for them to find as part of like their exploration of the island to try to find stuff for survival, and the boys just kind of failed?
Actually, yeah, that would make maybe sense because again, like those trivia facts that came up when I was watching, one of them said it took the girls figured out how to do a fire on day 1. It took the boys like 9 days or something like that to figure out how to do fire.
And they
had to use a lighter. And then the girls figured out food. The boys didn't figure that out for a while. They were just eating what was in the bunker and also in Josh's suitcase. And there was the only other thing that the boys had above the girls. It said the boys figured out how to do food preservation. The girls hadn't figured that out. The girls were like just eating as they went. The boys somehow managed to preserve the jaguar, but I didn't even really fully get that. And I don't know what they meant by preserving it, because I'm like, how do you preserve on an island where you're out in the heat, you don't have Tupperware?
Was it the jaguar? I thought it was something else.
It was the jaguar, because it came up when they were cooking the jaguar.
Okay.
But I think that just like also goes to prove like that just like shows the girls definitely are the smarter of the two groups. Like they figured out all these little things before the boys did, which like stereotypically, I guess you wouldn't expect. I think you're more inclined to think, oh yeah, the man does the job, and then that's kind of your way of.
Especially because they mentioned that I think Henry was a Boy Scout, so like you think that like most boys are Boy Scouts, but being a Boy Scout's hard as shit. I found out.
Like Henry definitely knew his stuff, but it's just weird that they didn't figure out little things like fire, and they had to use a lighter, and I mean, I'm sure lighting a fire is really, really hard. I can guarantee you I wouldn't be able to do it, but I would at least try. I don't even think they tried.
They were like hiding on a cliff from a jaguar.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they did get that kind of threat though, because they do mention that Gretchen like picked these islands because there was a similar level of threat, like there was none. And then the boys get the jaguar and the girls are just like coasting basically. I'm shocked the girls didn't ever really have like a run in beside the shark. And the shark is something that I think was kind of like obvious it was always going to be there. You just kind of like had to be careful. You can't really avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the girls had like no threats, which is good for them. They had it hard enough.
Maybe Martha killed the threat already.
Maybe. Oh, they had a boar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, the girls had it hard enough. They had to deal with periods on the island. So like really they were going through it.
Yeah.
That was hard enough. I remember that episode. I'm just like that's gotta suck.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Ew, wait, now I'm picturing Lost. I never thought about that. And they were on there forever.
Yeah. There's a lot of Lost parallels, I think.
Yeah.
Especially this season. The bunker. Someone said the Dawn of Eve, Twilight of Adam symbol reminds them of the Dharma Initiative. So. Really, any show where people are stranded on an island, though, is going to give Lost parallels, so.
Yeah. And if you like The Wilds, you should watch Lost and Yellow Jackets, just saying.
I'm going to watch the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I know you are. You keep saying it.
Listen, I don't have any shows to watch now. We're good.
Skirt on over to Vancouver. They're filming this summer.
Okay, let's go. We got big plans this summer, clearly.
Yeah, we do.
We gotta go see the Scream cast, and we gotta go see the Yellow Jackets cast.
Yeah. Oh, American Horror Story is filming in New York City this summer.
Oh my god, let's go.
We are going.
Okay, great.
Hopefully they start filming in a month.
Okay, let's go. Is that all we want to say about the Wilds, though?
Yeah, I feel like part of me wishes we had a more of a chronological structure because I feel like I'm missing so much.
I know. But yeah, I think just like final thoughts, it's not as bad as everyone reviewing it ahead of time made it out to be. People were saying it was so bad that the storyline, the girls took such a backseat. I think it was really even.
Yeah.
I also just like didn't listen to the reviews though, and I think if you listen to the reviews going in, you're going to be I think you're going to be more if you're someone who listens to reviews and doesn't like try to form your own opinion beforehand or doesn't go in with an open mind, you're going to be negative towards it.
Yeah.
We read those reviews and we're like, hey, no, like it can't be this bad with a season that great, the first season. They're not going to completely drop the bag here.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's going to be obviously like it isn't as good as season 1, but with a storyline like this.
Yeah.
Where it's a stranded island situation, it's never going to be as good as the first season because the first season is setting up and it's a brand new foreign place. Here, they're already like acclimated, they get it, they are kind of comfortable now. So now it's just kind of survival. Whereas before, it's like survival, like you don't know if you're going to make it through the night kind of thing.
Yeah, the mystery aspect was kind of taken out a little bit, but there's still the mystery of like what's the whole purpose of this experiment.
Yeah.
You really have about zero idea.
I do feel like this season was maybe a bit more filler.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, next season, I think will be, like, another pickup mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't know where the hell it's going to be.
Yeah. And also, like, we don't know if she's going to still be controlling stuff while on the run. Like,
yeah, I wonder if the FBI actually knows where they are.
Well, I mean, if they shut off the power.
That's true.
But, like, yeah, how would... That's another thing, because, like, Gretchen's like, I have Seth in charge, but if the FBI knows where they are, they're going to come rescue them. It's not like Seth can fight off the FBI.
Yeah.
We saw Kieran, like, literally drop kick this guy's ass. Like, he ran at him, picked him up, and body slammed that bitch.
Yeah.
I saw behind the scenes on the guy who plays Kieran, his Instagram, and it's like, he legit takes him and slams him.
Goddamn.
So, like, I don't think Seth is going to beat the FBI.
No.
It's just, I don't know, there's so many things that could happen in season 3. So I think that's where the mystery is going to, like, pick up there.
Yeah. I'm just double checking that season 3 is confirmed.
It isn't yet. I'm pretty sure it's not. If y'all got this canceled because the boys are coming in.
I'll fight.
Because even with the boys edition, I think people still, like, went nuts for it and we're still watching it.
Yeah, it hasn't announced that there will be a season 3.
There
should be a season 3 because I need to know what the hell's going on. But
I can't see where they wouldn't. I could see season 3 maybe being the last. Like, I think... Yeah. Like, if they manage to wrap it up in season 3... if they do a season 4, I just hope I hope that's the last one. I don't want them to stretch this to be like 8 seasons. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Once you're finished with that experiment, that's it.
What are we doing next week?
Great question.
Oh, I think it's the actor thing.
I think you might be right. Next week we're doing where we first saw an actor.
Yeah.
Very low key, very chill. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter the Fangirls. You can keep up with us on social media. Our Instagram and YouTube are Enter the Fangirls, and our Twitter is Enter Fangirls.
Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we can't wait for you to join us on our next episode. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.